For the string, we've got Adrian Alanis and Daniel Trevino. From Sinton, Mikey Rarity and Dalton Alford. From Calhoun and Root. Coach Tudiel Elizondo is here from Rockport-Fulton, along with Samuel Mays and Renee Muniz and Jacob Lozano from Ingleside. So, Adrian, we're going to start with you. If you talk a little bit about the 2021 Pirates and how the season is going from your perspective.
Well, thank you guys for having us, and I think I've told you already, this is awesome for not only us, but to represent all of South Texas and be able to talk baseball. But, you know, our season has gone pretty smooth. Hard to believe that we've been through 27 games already, and, you know, being able to see the group that we have right now continue to gel and mesh all the way through is kind of a blessing to be able to see. You know, I got Daniel next to me, who's my lone senior, so we should have a lot coming back next year. But focusing on this year, you know, we went through some tough battles. We were able to get through 3 tournaments this year. Traveled a little bit in the last tournament to go to the Dripping Springs tournament, which I thought was a really good eye-opener to see some different baseball. But this is the part of the season where we ultimately want to be and to be able to play our best baseball. So we're excited for the opportunity.
Two, just a few remarks from Rockport-Fulton's perspective.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for inviting all of us to this event. I think this is really good for not only South Texas baseball, but also for the kids that are representing each school. Yeah, the Rockport Pirates hadn't been to the playoffs since 2017. We had a young team. Samuel Mays is one of 2 seniors that I have on my team. We had a really good start of the season. We went to Cuero the first tournament and we started some young new faces on the diamond, and we went 4-0, and it kind of made me believe that we had something special going on, and we just ran from there. Just like Adrian had said, you know, just to get 27 games in with these kids, they're not babies anymore. They're young men who had a whole year of district underneath their belt as a varsity starter. So yeah, we had a really good season. We ended up 3rd place in this tough district, which we knew at the beginning was going to be tough to make the playoffs. And we were able to hold on and do great things. And now we're in the playoffs. Now it's another season. It's a season that you can have some luck and you can have some skill that can get you every round. And I think we're playing really good ball right now. And I think we have a really good chance to continue this journey.
Thank you, Steve. Renee?
I'm going to go ahead and add, just like these guys did, thank you guys and tell you how much we appreciate what you do for our kids in the area. I'm new to the area, not like Adrian and Tootie here. So this is my 4th year in the Coastal Bend, and it's always been known for its baseball and the production level here. And it really shows when you guys come out and put this on for the kids and do a good job with it. So we appreciate that a bunch. Our season for the Mustangs is we were very young this year coming in. Jacob Lozano is one of my seniors, you know, 3-year starter, 4-year letterman almost, and he's been a big part of teaching the young guys and showing them the way. But we started out, you know, a little rough, and kind of our season all year has kind of been up and down. But had a really tough schedule. Did it on purpose. Probably played one of the toughest schedules around. You know, playing the top dogs around the area, just to build our mental toughness and to get us, you know, ready for the playoffs. You know, we weren't picked to make the playoffs. We were picked, I think, 5th or 6th, and they knew that coming in, and I'm glad they accepted the challenge of stepping up and just getting in. But you know, we're not done, and we have a lot to look forward to in the future. So, Jacob being one of the 5 seniors I have, but the 4 others. You know, one of them was the 3-year starter like him, and the other 3 were just, you know, on JV last year. So really 2 starters returning with a lot of experience under their belts. But their leadership on and off the field has been great, and looking forward to the playoffs, and we're excited to be a part of it.
So this is for the players, and Jacob, we'll start with you and work in reverse order. But for Jacob and Samuel and Daniel, as older players on teams with considerable youth, what's it been like for you personally to lead those younger guys?
It's been a really fun time to lead them, show them the ways to become men, be leaders. It's just been really an exciting season for us.
Sam?
Yeah, like Jacob said, it's fun. We have a lot of fun out there. We mess around, you know, show them to grow up a little bit. Other than that, we just goof off, and when it's time to get serious, we get serious about it.
Daniel, what have you relished most about being a senior leader?
Being a senior is really amazing, especially the group of kids that we have. We have a lot of talent on our team, and it really makes it easier to lead when everyone knows what to do.
You know, Adrian, 24-3 in the regular season, you're undefeated in district play. Your club essentially was ranked 1 or 2 in the state from wire to wire. How has your club been able to maintain its focus?
Well, these guys, to me, we have a lot of guys that play dual sports, and they've been in competition, not only on the baseball field, but on the football field as well. And so I feel like that's paid dividends to how level-headed they can continue to be week by week. The mental grind. We know that, you know, with a group of talent, it's not going to go so far if you don't have a unit that kind of works together. So every day that we come out to practice, we as coaches have to be able to allow them to, you know, get the work done, but understand too that, you know, we put ourselves in spots that we ultimately are at, but we also have to be humble about it. You know, that mindset to me has been the biggest obstacle for us because, you know, you look at all the accolades and the commitments and, you know, what these guys have on the table, it can get overwhelming, especially for teenagers. So as a coach and my assistants, constantly keeping them grounded, understanding that you got to put in the work, nothing's ever going to be given to you. The success that you have on the field is ultimately the stuff that you put in. And in the game of baseball, anything can happen. And I think that's a scary moment for us is that, you know, we've gotten to a point of the season that, you know, the records are great, you know, we did go district, you know, undefeated in district, but none of that really means anything anymore because, like Tootie had said, this is a brand new season for us. You know, it's do or die now, and I think our kids are ready for the challenge for that.
Tootie, since the start of the season, you've had some talented freshmen in prominent roles. When did you sense this 9th grade class was going to be really special for you?
Probably when I saw him in 7th grade. We started, that was our first year to start junior high baseball. The athletic director, Jake Seibert, his son was a 7th grader. My son was a 7th grader as well. And we had some surrounding schools that had already started, maybe the 3As had started already. And so we, at that time, Coach Howell was the head coach, and he was like, you know, let's do this. And so we didn't hire a junior high coach, we took over. And it really benefited them in their 7th grade year because then 8th grade COVID hit, and they weren't able to play. So some of them usually, they're year-round baseball guys. So whenever they got done, and of course last summer, they hit it hard, and I could see some of their levels get higher. They matured a little bit more in the weight room, and then just like Adrian had said, they play football, so they got in the weight room and they got stronger. And I think you know, just their swagger and the way they present themselves and a little bit more maturity got them ready for baseball. So I saw that in the football side. And once we hit the ground running, like I said in that Cuero tournament, I could see that they were ready for it. I was worried about the pitching because, you know, coming from, I guess, Little League or select ball that's 14, 13U, and then you face guys like Daniel and Jacob, and you see guys that are seniors that are about to graduate, and they get up there and they can handle themselves with the bat. That's when I was impressed with them. So, yeah, it was exciting just to see them grow and mature, and they were ready.
Renee, what are your priorities this week as you get ready for swing? What are some areas of emphasis for your team?
just preaching consistency. Consistency at, at the plate, consistency on the mound, defensively. Like I talked earlier, we've definitely shown and played at some highs, and then we've definitely played at some lows at times this year. So that's what we preached a lot. At the same time, we've made the playoffs, told the kids to have fun, enjoy the moment, not put too much pressure on themselves, but at the same time, really stay focused and really be consistent, play within yourself. Don't play out of control. It's been my big talk to them this last week and yesterday in practice and going forward. So having fun, playing within themselves, and being consistent.
This one's for Jacob. You were a part of the program already when Hurricane Harvey essentially laid waste to your venue. I can remember looking at the video of some of the damage there, specifically in Ingleside at the athletic facilities. What's it been like for you to play in that new venue?
It was pretty devastating to see that Ingleside got damaged like that. But to play in it, it was a wonderful experience to get to play in it. We went through it, we fought through it, and here we are now, and just playing.
Why don't you share with the audience some of the really neat features of the new park? You were a coach. Because if people haven't seen it, they need to come take a peek.
He wants me to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, we got the turf in, and our surface is an ecotherm surface. It's not like the normal black beads like at Cabinets. So what it does is it doesn't allow the sun to really absorb all that heat. It kind of deflects it so it stays cool. Also, it plays softer. It plays almost like a grass type surface. So the bounces aren't really just ricocheting off and playing real fast. It's slower actually than most turf fields and even some grass fields. So that's the biggest part that we love the best about it. Obviously not having to drag and chalk lines and do all that stuff is, you miss that a little bit because you're used to doing it. You're used to being in your setup and your rhythm on game day. You got the music playing. And, that feeling of just getting the field ready is a really cool deal. So we don't get to do that anymore. But that's what we got going right now. We got a new bullpen set up in our home, on our home side with two mounds. Plans for the future is to get covered seating, redo our concession bathrooms, bullpens on the visiting side, and then whatever we can as far as the outskirts, and just kind of dressing it up and making it pop a little more. But really, the playing service has been phenomenal for us. The mound's been great. Haven't had any complaints.
Samuel, Nick Bainey's talked about how encouraged he was in the wake of the storm at the diligence, the seriousness, the work ethic of the players as they came back together. He indicated that there was a beacon of hope there coming out of the storm. What are your memories of that?
After the hurricane, we were all sent over here to go to school at GP, and there was a lot of kids. It was clustered, so I kind of didn't go to school. I just waited till we went back to school, and then I worked and helped rebuild my parents' business, and then just did work in some school every now and then. Ventured out to see what was going on in the town. It was pretty interesting to see all the National Guard, everybody out deployed, everybody helping, coming together as a community. It really showed strength in what we got.
Two of your areas of emphasis as you get ready for Deville this week.
Yeah, kind of like what Renee had said, you get an opportunity to make the playoffs. You get to play an extra week of baseball. You kind of emphasize that to your team about not trying to do too much. Try to do what has gotten you there. And with us, it's having fun, living in the moment. You're not, after last season being canceled, and having 7 of 9 starters be seniors and not get to finish the season, and then have these guys here come in, really shows that you just got to live day by day, play game by game, because you just never know if you're not going to be able to finish. And so that's what I've emphasized with them. Just let's worry about Friday night with Neatville at 6:30, and then from then we'll move on. We'll move on to game 2 or game 3 or next week and stuff like that. So just trying to keep them focused one game at a time, basically probably one pitch at a time, is what I'm trying to focus on them for this week.
Welcome, Mike, and Dalton. It's great to have you.
Sorry we're late.
That's okay. Mike, just a few comments on the season in your ball club. Yep, right. Yes, live.
Well, you know, coming off last year, everybody that was in it last year knows last year was tough coming off of COVID. And, you know, for the seniors that we lost last year that didn't get to finish, it meant a lot for Dalton and my other seniors that have been there. And, you know, we kind of talked about it like Coach was saying. We kind of talked about it all year long. We knew what was going to happen this year going in. We knew we could be shut down at any point in time. Early in the year, we had 22 of our kids in our program quarantined at one time. We lost every scrimmage. You know, so going into this year with the seniors that I had that's been in the program for a couple of years, they knew that this could possibly, you know, at any time could be shut down, and these young men have stepped forward and for our program have done an outstanding job, and we're looking forward to hopefully playing another week or so.
Dalton, this is for you, and you touched on it with me last week in cabinets, but had an outstanding senior season, 7-2, 1.55 ERA. The opposition hit 133. You're hitting 452 with 5 home runs. You talked about how you rededicated yourself after your sophomore year. Tell us a little bit more about that and what that process has been like.
Well, knowing coming into my senior year that it could still be shut down, I just wanted to make sure that I come out and play the game, every game one by one, as best as I can.
Adrian, anything that you've been particularly pleased with recently, and any concerns that you've got headed into this first week?
The consistency that we played throughout the district park was something that I was pleased about. Particularly the pitching. You know, we don't want to boast on the pitching stats, but I feel like with the guys that we have so far right now, I don't know if I've ever had that deep of a rotation to be able to throw out there, and sometimes it's hard throughout the week when you're only playing twice to get those 4 or 5 guys enough work in throughout the district season. So they've handled it well, and I've been very pleased with the way that they've gone about their business. Any concerns is just to not look ahead too far. We have an obstacle in front of us, and our first hurdle is to go to play Brazosport. First round, whatever it is, I think we as a group have to go out with the mindset that, kind of like Tootie was saying, you got to take it one game at a time, one pitch at a time, one inning at a time. And then, at the end of the day, what the job that we've done should hopefully be enough for us. So I'm excited for our kids. I think our community is really excited about the opportunity to be able to go out and showcase what we can do. So this is the best part of the season, and we're enjoying it.
Daniel, what do you think have been the keys to the team's success this year?
The keys to our success have been doing the little things right. I feel like we've been moving runners around in the situations that we need to. Don't make that many errors in the field. Pitching stats have been really good. Executing pitches, throwing strikes, and checking people out.
Like the number that always jumps out at people when they look at your stats. You got 144 stolen bases in 25 games. Adrian and I visited about that briefly over the phone last week. Aside from having ball players who run well, what's shaped your base running philosophy?
Well, you know, we didn't get a chance to run and get sent very much. We didn't have many guys on base. You know, you and I talked about it, and I caught in college, and one of the teams that we played every year led the nation in stolen bases. And I found myself I was allowed to call pitches as a catcher. I found myself calling a pitch that was more favorable for me to probably throw the runner out than it was for my pitcher. So therefore, I kind of put my pitcher at a disadvantage for me trying to throw the guy out, the runner at second base or stealing whatever it was. So I kind of took that mindset, and I've been doing it now. This is 30 years, 26 as a head coach, and I've had teams that did not run so well, but the first thing I told them, I think Dalton will reiterate, first thing I told them, we're going to run. I don't care how fast we are, how slow we are. We'll delay still, we'll run and bunt, we'll hit and run, we'll do something. We're going to try to put people in motion. And I've seen it in my coaching career. I'll, you know, sit over and look at the coach. He probably wants to throw a curveball right here, but he thinks we're going, so he may change and throw the fastball outside, you know, or fastball up and in. So it's just philosophy that I got as a catcher in college. And it's worked for us. If we can get them on, we can't steal first. If I ever figure out how to steal first base, I'm going to play center to go to Austin here pretty quick.
Dalton, you've got a couple of outstanding young middle infielders, Ian Cobos and Gavin Balaka. Tell us your impressions of those two guys and what you see the future is for them.
I mean, I played with them, like when we were younger, we all played together, we all really know each other very well. We have a good rhythm together, and it's like nothing very new to us, we're just playing at a bigger level. And with me being gone and them two going to be in the middle infield, and the next 2 years, I think they're going to do very well together.
Any questions from anybody out this way?
I have a question for the coaches, and if you will, you can take turns wherever you start here with the coach on these. Why is the player that you brought with you today, what is about the player that you like the most, and what is a trait of theirs that you would tell the underclassmen to emulate from what they do? If we can get from all four, I appreciate that.
I think that's a good question. You know, Daniel is my lone senior, and I think, you know, when Matt had asked me to bring a player, I think, you know, you go to the top and see who's been through the system, who knows the ins and outs of your program, and I think Daniel is the epitome of what we want as a Sinton Pirate baseball player. You know, Daniel is a very calm and collected individual, and the one thing that I think that he showcases the most is he doesn't show his emotions a whole lot out there on the field. And as a baseball player, you know how emotions can kind of get the best of you here and there. He is a pitcher, so he's groomed himself to be able to handle the things in between his ears and kind of block out the outside noise. And so looking up to him from a young player's perspective, that's one trait that I think that I would like all my players to emulate. You know, he's a hard worker in the classroom, he's a hard worker on the field, he's a great teammate, and it sure has been a pleasure to have him. And you know, I'm excited for his opportunity. He's going to play baseball at the next level at Texas A&M Kingsville for the Javelinas. So the future is bright for Daniel. So we're definitely pleased that he's here in Sinton.
Well, I share the same thoughts that Coach over here does. I've got Dalton Alford here, and I've got actually 3 seniors. I've got 7 seniors total, but I got 3 that the last time we made the playoffs, I pulled them up as freshmen, and so they kind of got a little taste in their mouth. And then with the addition with COVID last year, just the way that Dalton and Sean Flores and Sebastian Madera, those are the 3 that I pulled up. The work ethic that those guys bring to the table. And we do have a lot of young kids, but my young kids, they want to try to be Dalton Alford. In Cobos, one of my middle infielders, idolizes this young man right here and wants to strive to be like him. He may never tell him that, but that's the honest to God truth. And so when you get a kid on your team, or your younger kids who are already starting as young kids, they want to be as good as what you're fixing to lose. That says a lot for the young man himself. You know, and my coach here, this young man's going to have an opportunity to go to the next level. And I think he's got great things in store for him if he keeps working like he has.
It was a no-brainer for me with Sam. It was an easy choice for me when Matt called and said to bring a player. Sammy to me is Rockport-Fulton Pirate baseball when it comes to being a leader and knowing how to relate to the younger kids. You know, this is my 18th year of coaching baseball, and I've learned from Steve Castro, I've learned from Fred Flores, I've learned from Mike Leal and Lee Yeager and all those older guys, and you can go and just talk to them, and they'll find one senior that basically becomes like a player coach. And when you can have a player coach like on your team, it makes it easier for you, because you can all say, all here, 27 games, 30 games, as a coach, you're going to repeat yourself and say the same things, and you got to have somebody that's going to say, hey, listen to coach, let's go, let's do this. Let's go hit the wiffle balls off the tee for the 400th time this year. And if Sam's not playing around and he's doing it right, the rest are going to follow what he does. And so, middle of the season, I went up to Sammy and I straight up told him that I needed him to just take over at some practices and be the leader that he can be. And he didn't argue, he didn't say nothing. He's like, yes, sir. And I can hear him in the dugout during games. I can hear him in the dugout during practice. And I don't even have to, water breaks over. It's like Sammy tells him, let's go. It's time to go. And so it doesn't have to come from us as coaches. But when you have a player like that, it makes your job a lot easier. And he does great things. And not only that, he's a full-time boss of his parents' shop there in Rockport. They have 2 locations in Rockport and 1 in Corpus. And if I got to get a hold of Samuel on the weekend, he's either driving the truck or he's unloading furniture. And so, to me, that just shows how big of a hard worker he is outside of school and outside of that. So, just being a leader, that makes everything so much easier when you have a player like him.
The reason why I brought Jacob with me today is he's a 3-year star. Like I said, it was a difficult decision between him and Alex Rodriguez and Joseph Gonzalez. There were 3 sophomores that were up when we made the playoffs last time before COVID hit. And but I chose Jacob because of his loyalty, and which led to great leadership. His loyalty to the off season, to preseason, to the program, all his years helped him be a great leader on and off the field this year. He's got a 93 GPA. He takes care of business in the classroom. He's one of the first to practice. He's one of the last to leave. He coaches up. He helps the young kids when they make a mistake. He's talking. He communicates well with them. He lets them know, even if they don't understand why we do things the way we do. And he's really been like an extra coach out there this year. And not only that, his play. He's got the highest batting average on the team. He's got the most innings on the mound. He's really laid his heart on the line this year, and he has every other year, but more so this year because it's his last one. And so, for me, that's why Jacob was the man to bring today. Just like everybody else said, he's what Ingleside baseball represents and what we're looking for in the future.
All right. Gentlemen, we thank you. Appreciate you being here today, and best wishes for every success we'll be following. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, if you want to take your nameplates with you, you're more than welcome to.
How you doing, Alex? Good to see you. Yes, sir. I mean, this is our business now. There's no way. I already told my wife. Yeah, see, it's down on TV. When are you available? Anytime after the second week, that's when we're going.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you being sorry for me. It's okay.
You got the longest six in
It's a small world.
We can already tell where he's going from. My little one is
Our pleasure.
It's Jake Vasquez here, and we're going to take a quick break right now as these guys getting ready to head out with District 26 4A and the representation that we've had here. You know, the team who finished first from Sinton Pirates, head coach Adrian Alanis, he brought Daniel Trevino with him. Then you have the second place team, the Calhoun Sand Crabs, and coach Mike Innerarity. He brought his senior Dalton Alford with him. And we also heard from Rockport-Fulton, third place team out of this district, head coach Tudio Elizondo and Samuel Mays. And then the Ingleside Mustangs and head coach Renee Muniz brought Jacob Lozano. So heard from those guys, and that was a lot of fun, and you can't wait. We've got District 31 4A coming up, and those guys are going to be here talking with us as well. So we'll hear from them here in just a bit. We'll wait, give them a chance to come on in and get set up. And let me give you the list of the representation that we've got from 31 4A coming up. Yeah, the Cal Allen Wildcats head coach Steve Chapman will be here with Luke Smith. He brought Luke Smith with him. Also from Tuloso-Midway, Coach Todd Akers and Christian Benavides will be here. The Alice Coyotes representation will be head coach Nick Alvarado and RJ Carrillo. And the Robstown Cotton Pickers, it'll be head coach Eric Gonzalez and Robbie Olguin. And those guys are coming up here in just a bit. So let's give you some information on those teams. Coming in out of 31 4A, the Cal Allen Wildcats ranked number 1 in the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association poll, and number 2 in the Texas High School Baseball.com poll. So the Cal Allen Wildcats coming in at 23-2-1 overall, and we'll hear from head coach Steve Chapman here in just a bit about their season. And also, you got the Tuloso-Midway Warriors had a great season this year, coming in 17-14 overall, finishing in second place in that 31 4A district. The Alice Coyotes, they finished in the third spot, 14-15 overall. And the Robstown Cotton Pickers coming in 9-19. They had a rough start to their season, but really turned it around and claimed that fourth spot out of 31 4A. So we'll hear from the Cotton Pickers as well. So you guys give us just a few minutes. These guys are coming in. We're going to get them all set up, and then we'll be talking here real soon with 31 4A. Listen to Blast Vision live from Portland, Texas, at the 2021 playoff press conference.
I'd like to see what else they have. Appreciate it. Hey, folks. Lisa Slater. Yeah. Steve, I know you're you see my wife today already? Tell her you were coming over. Did you get a snack? There he is. Yeah. I'm going to try them off. You know, what do your game? You wanted to, what if we just make it? Are they going to want to watch that in the city? Oh, yeah. That's a big difference. All right, one thing we know about baseball coaches, they like to stay on time. So we're going to go ahead and proceed. You see all their names and their school affiliations. Went over the format. So, Coach Chapman, we're going to start with you, the district champion of 31 4A. Just a few brief remarks about your club and the season.
It's been an exciting year for our whole district, and I'm really proud of my team and the way they performed in district play. And we had a lot of close games throughout the district, and I'm sure that all of us will tell you that the top 4 teams, there wasn't a whole lot of difference in anybody's team. Several games that could have gone either way, and we're just real humbled and proud to be where we are.
Tom? This line is right.
Well, I think Coach Chapman's exactly right. Our season didn't start in January. You know, our kids started when the season got shut down last year. You know, I couldn't be more proud of the adversity that they've overcome. And all the coaches up here, all the games have been, you know, tight and close, and just couldn't be more proud of my kids and my coaching staff.
Yeah, I kind of echo, you know, the two coaches prior, but, you know, again, last year being shut down a little bit earlier than we'd like, you know, obviously the long layoff and some of the things that can happen between one year to the next, you know, whether it be graduation or, you know, dealing with COVID and dealing with every, you know, adversity, like, other than the game, you know, it's a great accomplishment. I think the last time we've been here is 2013, so, you know, to fight through all those things leading up to where we are today, it's a true testament to the commitment of the community, administration, kids, and our coaches. So super glad to be where we're at today.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with all the coaches here. The spirit, it's been a grind. We were a young team. I think my team has developed a little bit. I think a lot of the last time a lot of my guys played, they were 8th graders, and same with these guys. Every time we played these guys, it was a playoff game, and it was tough. And like I said, I think any one of us, I think like Coach Chapman said, could have got one hit and changed the trajectory of the game. But let me tell you, it's been a good district season. It's been competitive, and I think we're all ready to go play in the playoffs.
If we could go down the line with the coaches, and gentlemen, if you could outline your pitching plans, if they are definitive for this first round.
Well, basically, we've been going with our 1-2 starting rotation, and but we've also been preparing those 2, 3, and 4, or 3, 4, and 5 to be able to pitch by doing a lot of intersquatting during the week. So we're going to go with our 1-2 and hopefully that works. But if we have to go to 3, 4, and 5, we feel like we have it ready to go. So that's where we are as far as our pitching.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and stick with our rotation also. You know, our 1 and 2s have been going pretty much the distance throughout the district season and done a heck of a job doing that. You know, we have brought in our 3 and 4 in occasion for a few pitches here and there, but they're working bullpens every day and they're working their pitching programs at practice. So no matter what faces, I think we'll be ready as far as our pitching staff goes.
We don't deviate from that plan either. You know, we have you know, 1 and a 1A, and then guys that have definitely come in some situations, whether it was tournament or district ball games or non-district games. We've tried to allot some innings for those guys, and we don't have players to be named later, unfortunately. But you know, we're gonna you know, do the best that we can with the arms that we have. And again, these kids are hungry to compete, and that's the main thing, allowing them to get the work in addition to, you know, competing when they have an opportunity.
Going forward, we're going to stay with our guy. We got our Justin Morales, who's done a great job for us this year. He'll go for us, and we got a left-handed reliever who comes in good behind him, and actually they kind of feed off of each other a little bit. So we got a 1-game playoff, so we're not going to hold anything back. Everybody will be ready this weekend to go.
We'll start with Robbie on this and work our way in reverse. What have been the keys to your success this year, especially offensively?
Offensively, I'd say putting the ball in play. I mean, you put the ball in play, you get ground balls, put pressure on the defense, and you know, nobody's perfect. Everybody's gonna mess up. So you know, put pressure on the defense, they make bad throws, you get on base, and you get off the bat.
You know, RJ, the last time Alice made the playoffs, you were in 4th grade. To kind of put it in perspective, what's it like for you and the other 16 years to go out this way?
Man, it's really good because I have a younger brother. He's a freshman right now. As is Jacob, he's a freshman brother too. I mean, it's good for our community. It's good to show them like the standards, the foundation, just show them the ropes. And it's pretty good. It's amazing actually.
Okay, gentlemen, if you could pick up the mics when you respond, we really appreciate that. Kristen, y'all were 11-4-1 last year when the season shut down. How much is last year's start and playing for last year's seniors fueled things at TM this year?
The seniors last year did a great job of laying the foundation for us young kids in the lower classmen for them. And it was more of like a bummer that they couldn't live out their last senior season. And we were rolling last year and we had a very good squad. So, it was really important for us underclassmen under those last year seniors just to get the job done and just do what we can just to prove to the seniors that we could do it and just have their season that they couldn't.
Lou, when you look at the totality of the team this season, and when we talked on our tour at the beginning of the season, you were very adamant about Cal Allen's goals for this year. But looking at the totality of Cal Allen's season so far, what are you most proud of?
How the guys have been able to bounce back. We work hard more than anybody that I know of. Even after we lost the Reagan game, I believe it was 8:30 at night. We had about 7 guys that stayed after the hit until about 9:30. So, the guys have been able to work hard, and that's on any team. That's all you can preach for is be able to work hard and to compete at the plate. So, hopefully we can keep it going. It's going to be tough. Nothing's handed to you. So, yeah.
Coach Evan Wood.
Hang on just a minute, somebody keeps calling me.
No problem.
I said that my phone off, but I didn't know.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. What have you been most pleased with when you look at this team?
Well, several things I've been pleased with. The way that they get along and the way that they play together and the never say die attitude that they take. Their work ethic is unbelievable, and they take a lot of pride in every aspect of the game. The defensive part, the hitting part, the pitching part, and that makes it in my job a whole lot easier when the kids care as much about what they're doing as the coaches do.
Other questions? Done?
I asked this question earlier to the previous 4 coaches that were in, and I'd like to get an understanding from the same coaches as well. With the players that you brought today, can you tell us why you brought the player? And then what is the trait about the young man that you would like the underclassmen to emulate if you could? We can go right with Coach Chapman.
All right, I'll start. And I'll tell you why I brought Luke, because Luke is a 4-year starter for us at shortstop. He's our team leader, without a doubt. He says to do something, the rest of the team responds to him, and he's a great player. He plays the game with the type of intensity that I want to see it played with, and it relays to the other guys just as well. And like I said, he's been around for 4 years as a starter, so that he has that right as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you can't say enough about Chris. Christian Benavides, just to give you a little background, last year, ACL, MCL injury in football, came back, played in the season in a DH role. This past year, same thing happens to the other knee, and he started for us. If that's not an example for your program, for your community, for your kids, I don't know what it is. The leadership this young man exudes on the field is next to none. If somebody's acting up, Chris doesn't have a problem with telling them so. And he's had to do it several times. We've had some ups and downs this year, but there's growth in our program. And I think, when you have those downs and you have kids like Chris or young men like Chris in your program, he's influenced everybody, including the coaching staff. I can't say enough about it.
Well, I brought RJ Carrillo in part because he's supposed to buy a Whataburger on the way home. But I think one of the things that really impresses me about this young man is his resiliency. He had shoulder surgery in November of this past year, and he's pretty upset about it just because he was really hoping to get a jump start on his senior season. But he went ahead and did it and stayed with it. When he got done with football, he was out there, with the guys and encouraging them and just being part of what we did on our day-to-day, routines. Got back in the saddle as soon as he could, and I know that I think he was just chosen for what was his try, the football, the All-Star game football coming up, and he ran track, and he actually ran last week. So he's done a lot for the athletic program, but in our locker room, he's definitely a leader. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to speak his mind and give direction, and he acts as a big brother to a lot of the younger guys. Even though he has a younger brother on the team, he kind of oversees some of the discipline that goes on with some of the younger boys. But he works hard. He's there every day. He's putting in extra time, and I think he's going to finish high school with an associate's degree. Has aspirations and is going to be attending TOU. So he's definitely a kid that you want around and aren't afraid to turn your back on, because he's going to carry on whatever it is that you have lined out for the team that day and that season, and again, just a great influence with our program.
The reason I brought Robbie Olguin is because he deserves it. He deserves everything he's got. He's been inducted to NTHS and to NHS as well. And you need a reward guys like this. Of course, first thing I think about when I think of Robbie is character. He's a guy you want to lead in your team, and he does. He's a guy that will speak up, quietly, and when he has to raise his voice, he will. But most of all, he leads by example, and he's done a great job for us. He's comes from a good family. I've been driving up here. I know about Robbie, but his dad is a father to him, and he's taught him well. And speaking to Robbie, you'll see what I'm talking about. And like I said, he deserves to be here. He's a student athlete that you want to praise because he's done things right, and hopefully we can keep it going. He can keep it going in life, and which I'm sure he will.
Coach Gonzalez, if you could just continue, we'll work back this way this time. Coaches, if you could talk about some areas of emphasis for your clubs this week as you prepare for the bi-district round. What are some priorities that you're working on in practice?
Well, one of the things we need to do is make sure all of our plays are polished. We're gonna I know we're facing a kid that throws about 87, 88 that maybe tops out at 88, so he's gonna throw strikes. But we need to take advantage of our running game. I think that's helped us out throughout the year. Our pitching staff will throw a bullpen today, have them hopefully hit their spots and get a lot of confidence going. But more than that, we're going to try and get our mind straight that this is playoffs and we've been waiting for this. And that's the first thing I told them. I think after our last game was like, hey, we're in the playoffs now. Forget everything that happened. It's playoff season. It's a new season. And so hopefully we can go home. We'll work today. We'll work our offense. We'll work our bunts. Again, we need to polish up every area of our game. And like I said, I think we're confident enough to if we do that, we should have success this weekend.
We started off the week with a conversation about mindset. Obviously, going into this season is we're 0-0. The belief in each other, the belief in the coaches, love for one another, love for the coaches, love for the game. That's all part of the separating factors going into this week. We'll have some play polish. We'll have some things that we do, but we're going to do what we do. But putting these young men in a mindset in a position where they believe in themselves. Don't let moments get too big. Create memories along the way so that later on we can look at milestones after our accomplishments. So just not letting our moments this week be too big, preparing them mentally to go into each ball game and treat it like another ball game, and not letting moments get too big. Again, I think that's a big part of what we're going to focus on, continue to focus on this week, and then we'll go about our physical preparation like we normally do.
Well, we're gonna throw strikes. We're gonna hit our spots. You know, we're gonna make routine plays. We're gonna put the ball in play, and we're gonna run our bases hard. We're gonna execute. You know, and those are kind of the pillars of our program. And if we do those things, I think we'll be successful.
Well, being the playoff season, we reset our goals and refocused on what we need to do. And the thing that we're trying to keep the kids focused on is playing one game at a time, and making sure that we take care of the business at hand. And we obviously are working on all parts of the game, the fielding part, the pitching part, the hitting part, and all that, but staying focused and realizing that each game could be your last. So you better take advantage of every opportunity you get, and make sure that you don't leave any stone uncovered.
Got a quick question for Luke. Are you following the Lobos?
Yes, I have. You know, it's been a tough season so far that I've heard, but you know, Coach Ray Birmingham retired. It sucks, but you know, it is what it is. He's 66 years old, and you know, he needs to spend time with his family, and I respect that. So we're supposed to be having a new coach head in. I think that's supposed to be announced sometime soon, but you know, I'm excited for the future.
I think these folks are ready for one-on-ones. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay. I think Chris and Alan want to visit with some of you guys on your way out. We're grateful for your participation. Proud of you, and the best of luck.
Thank you, man.
Too bad. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Just heard from District 31 4A, and we want to thank the Callahan Wildcats head coach Steve Chapman, and he brought Luke Smith with him, his senior. Also want to thank the Tuloso-Midway Warriors head coach Todd Akers and Christian Benavides. Alice Coyotes made the long drive today. Head coach Nick Alvarado and RJ Carrillo. And, of course, the Robstown Cotton Pickers head coach Eric Gonzalez and Robbie Olguin. Want to thank all of them for coming out to talk with us. And, you know, just you can tell these guys are super excited. Got a chance to talk with a few of them before we actually got going. And playoffs, it's just that time of the year, man. Everybody's super excited. And so it's such a great thing to be able to hear from these guys before they actually get going. And we've got the big boys coming up next, District 29 5A. And let's get you a rundown of the representatives and some of the folks you'll be hearing from 29 5A. You've got the district champions, the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, head coach Ronnie Jonesy and Malachi Lott. And for the Wildcats, overall 29-2-1. And the Wildcats are ranked number 3 in the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association poll, number 2 in TexasHighSchoolBaseball.com. So we got the Gregory-Portland Wildcats coming in here. We also have the Veterans Memorial Eagles head coach Lee Yeager and Dalen Pena. And for the Eagles, The Eagles overall, 23-6-1, finished in the second spot in 29-5A. They ranked number 10 in the Texas High School Baseball Coach Association poll and number 8 in Texas High School Baseball.com. So we got the Veterans Memorial Eagles coming in here in just a bit. Also finishing in the third spot, 29-5A, the Ray Texans, 25-6 overall for the Texans. And head coach Orlando Ruiz will be here with Jack Martinez. So the Ray Texans will be in the house here in just a bit. And then we've got the Cinderella story, the Carroll Tigers. What a season those young men are having, 17-12-1 overall. But more importantly, in going into district play, they were 0-6. They finished district play 8-2 and clinched that fourth place spot. And I know those guys are super excited, and I'm excited to hear from the Carroll Tigers. Head coach David Marcello will be here, and he brought DJ Dudney with him, so we'll hear from those guys in just a bit. So you guys stay with us. We're going to give them a chance to get set up, and we'll get going in about 5 minutes with District 29 5A. You're watching Blast Vision live from Portland, Texas. It is the 2021 playoff press conference.
How proud of you, these guys. It was incredible what y'all been able to do considering the things that y'all had to do off the field.
We're very proud of the fact that, these guys are working a lot. I mean, because they need it.
He's off too Saturday, so good luck. Hey, if we did it on Friday, it would have been perfect.
That's a great story.
I told her, I said, there's no one available.
Well, I need to go find my 29s. They got me here, right? I see them. Off in the distance. Okay, 29, you got microphones right in front of you. They are live. We ask that you remember to speak into them before you give your response. Elder Greg, it's wonderful to have you here. Appreciate you taking your time. We'll start with Coach Jonesy at GP, and that means the head coaches. Talk a little bit about the 2021 season and their teams, just kind of their overall impressions. We've got a couple of TV stations that are wrapping up some long ones outside, so they'll be coming in. So without any further ado, Coach Jonesy, if you'd provide us with your perspective on your team.
Yes, sir. First off, thank you for having us. Thank you for putting on this great event. I guess 361 Glass does a tremendous job of promoting our schools and our athletes and our communities, and so we're very thankful for that, Matt. And I know Jake, you do a great job of promoting us as well, so thank you. I think this is a wonderful opportunity not only for our kids, but also our communities, so thank you, Matt. But to get on with the question, I guess the district overall, everybody knows how competitive it is, and I think the biggest difference between this district and maybe some other districts around the state is just how deep it is. Not only the 1 through 4 seeds which are here today, but you start getting into some other teams like Moody or King or Flower Bluff, and those are quality opponents. And so what made it difficult for us this year was just the fact that you had to show up every Tuesday and every Friday. You had to be consistent, and you had to play good baseball. And you didn't play good baseball when you were going to beat. So that was our challenge to our kids: is you got to come out and you got to play every day. And so there was no off days. Every opponent was tough. You got those guys at Carroll who started going 6, and then they rounded off, I think, 7 out of 8, or maybe it was 8 out of 9, something ridiculous. But that's what makes this district tough. But at the same time, that's also what makes it fun. That's what makes it interesting. And so one of the reasons I came down to the Coastal Bend was to see this type of baseball, this caliber of baseball. So this year, a lot of people, at one point we were 0-2 against Carroll and Vets, and people are like, what happened, guys? What's going on? And some really good teams. Carroll got hot, and Vets threw Jose Acuna at us, who's going to, I think, Texas Tech. And so it's tough. A lot of people thought it was an easy road, but it's definitely been a great challenge for us this year.
Well, I think Coach Jones, you said it best. I mean, you look at our district and how tough it was, and just night after night, it just came down to, you'd see a dude every night. I mean, there's somebody on the mound you're going to face every night that was going to make it tough on our hitters. And, I think that was really what the gist of our district was it was a pitching district. We had a lot of good pitchers. But for us in general, just our team, we went through some battles early in the year. Obviously, we didn't get a good off season. It was difficult to get all the guys, doing what we wanted to do. And we just committed to the weight room a little bit. And then, a lot of the other stuff we couldn't do. And then once the season started, we were going to rely on our 3 top arms, and one of them goes down, and he's not coming back. And then we get ready to play another game, and the other one goes down, and we got to go through these tournaments. And, our top 2 guys are out, and our next 2 guys we can't throw. So, we're taking some beatings against some teams, that are good teams. But if we had our better guys on the mound, it would have been a different story. But long story short, we came back and we overcame some of those injuries and got some guys back at the right time. And obviously, Jake Miller not being with us is going to be a crucial loss. We're really counting on him to kind of be that 3rd guy. But Dalen stepped up to be that guy, and so our depth is going to be okay as we move forward. But in our team, it was just about overcoming that early, and then the key to it all is peaking at the right time. And hopefully, we got some guys back healthy, and we should be peaking at the right time. So we'll take our chances as we move forward. And I'm pretty certain if we do well, we're probably going to run into some of these guys again as we move forward. So, but we got to do well. We got to do well to get there. So, but I like our team right now. I like where we're at, and mentally and physically, I think we're in a good spot. So, we'll see how it goes as we move forward.
All right. First of all, I want to thank the media, Mr. Matt, Jake, Chris, everybody that's here at Lynn. Like Coach Jonesy said, you guys do a lot for South Texas baseball, especially here in the Coastal Bend area. Really appreciate everything you guys do. Now, with the question about, our team, every night was a must-win game, especially against these 3 top schools.
Carroll came out of nowhere, 0-6, and you know that's the story. That's the talk of the town right now. Carroll baseball. So Coach Marcelo did a great job. Dudley, you know, tremendous pitcher, and then having GP over here to my right and Vets. That's just two programs that are top notch. Well coached. Well, they play the game right. So with our team, this year I think what we did right was do the little things. Try to play that small ball. Try to get runs early. Try to stay on top and play good defense. We were very, I guess you could call one word, resiliency. Very fortunate to have these guys, and they played hard. All 7 innings, and thank God we made the playoffs. So we're in good shape right now. So we'll see how it goes later on. Hopefully we'll meet, 3rd round and 4th round with these guys. So thank you.
Awesome. Hey, again, thank you to all the meeting members here. I kind of feel like we're family. We've seen so much of you at Tiger Field in the past month. It's like, turn around and bump into one of you guys. You joked around a little bit. I always thought about prefer to fly under the radar, but I guess when you kind of come out of nowhere and you get a group of kids who deserve to get their due, I'm happy for that because our guys really, put it on the line this year. All things considered, I think we all can agree, probably the toughest year we've had as teachers and coaches. With the way school has been, trying to get your kids to show up to workouts at different times, it's been pretty difficult. We finally get our season. I think all of us really put that blood, sweat, and tears into this along with our kids, and it's really been an awesome ride for us. So I appreciate everything our kids have done, and appreciate all the media for us. But I think our situation's been pretty well documented. I think the injury bug, which is always my biggest concern for us, was could you stay healthy and for how long? That health bug, really got us on the negative side quick. You're down anywhere from 3 to 5. Seniors especially makes it tough in the key positions of pitcher, second base, shortstop, center field, you mix in our freshman catcher. But through it all, our kids stayed as positive as could be. At no point did they feel sorry for themselves or come to practice with a bad attitude. It was more like, I'm the hurt guy right now, but you're playing for me, so here's how I'm going to work. I'll help you out. When my turn comes back, we're here to rock and roll. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for our players and what they've done, and their family for their support as well. So I'm just blessed to be part of that. In this district, every coach probably said it, this is the hardest district you're going to find in baseball in the state, I believe. And if you can get out of this, be in the top 4, then you are definitely ready to play in these playoffs this year. So I'm just hoping that our guys, understand what it took to get here. They continue to do what they've done to this point and stay hot. And so that the story becomes, how we finished.
Working back this way with the players now, DJ, what a month it's been for you and your ball club. When your return was imminent, did you feel any pressure?
A little bit, senior, I gotta come out here and perform for these guys every night. So, that's what I've been trying to do, because they deserve it, they deserve it. We deserve to be in the playoffs. The seniors have committed to Carroll for 4 years now. Play baseball, play their hearts out, give it our all. So, we deserve to get in, and, I'm trying to lead the team in.
How difficult was it for you during that recovery from your wrist injury?
It's always difficult, like watching people play with an injury, because you don't want to watch, you want to be out there, you want to be pitching, I'm sitting over there itching, I'm twitching, I'm on the sideline watching other people pitch, I can't wait to get out there and compete. So, it's just more adversity, you just got to work through it and be back and be ready for your team.
And finally, what do you think your key success has been during this run?
My slider. I don't know, just trusting my pitches, trusting my team behind me, that they're going to make plays when people hit the ball to places. So, it's a lot of trusting me, trusting my catcher, trusting my team.
Jack, you've had a remarkable season. On the mound and the swing in the bat. Tell me what it's been like from your perspective to be a huge difference maker for Ryan.
Well, it's definitely been fun this year and definitely a wild ride. The last 2 years I was hurt. Freshman year I was a freshman, and so I got to watch how Ray's played from the sidelines the majority of the time. So being able to come out here and pitch and do pretty well it's been so fun. And then coach giving me a chance to hit. I think I've done fairly well. Hit the 5 spot, so that's been really fun. But it's definitely been awesome to be an important part of the team.
Dalen, over the course of the last 3 years, you've been one of the most heralded baseball players here, and many of us followed your football career as well. This year, you've had the opportunity to pitch, and have certainly stepped up in that regard. How fun has that been for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been real fun. Just growing up, just being a competitor my whole life, it's kind of been a role I just take on. And I mean, growing up 12 to 15 years old, I kind of pitched majority of weekends, kind of a Saturday and Sunday guy. So kind of talked to Yeager, been Yeager's year all 4 years, and told him, hey, coach, give me an opportunity on the mound, I'm ready. And this year I got the opportunity, and it's been fun, and I can't wait. And got more work to do, and we'll be ready.
Malachi, think back to the 2019 playoffs, you know, the trip down to Rio Grande City, in your appearance down there. How are you, aside from just looking at your statistics, how is Malachi different today than he was 2 years ago?
Definitely matured a lot more, had some more experience in the mound. My sophomore year, I really didn't throw as much as I thought I would. I threw maybe 4 or 5 games, but last year, this year, I've been throwing a lot more, so it built up my confidence, and I know what to throw, when to throw, and trusting my team.
Starting with Coach Johnson and running through the roster of coaches here, are your pitching plans set for this first round?
Yeah, they're set. You're not getting them out of me, but they're set. I can tell you that.
Lee?
Shoot, we're never set. It's just next guy up pretty much. I mean, like I said, with Dalen coming in, he has been asking to throw for 4 years, and I laughed at him for 3, and then he's laughing at me now. But, we got Jose healthy. I think Jose is going to be a big key. If we get him right mentally and physically, he's going to be fine. And then Xavier's been a solid guy all year long for us, so we feel good about Xavier. And then we're developing a 4th and 5th guy through some scrimmages and things like that. And Dalen's just going to play the same role Dalen's played. He's going to close some games, and if we get to a game 3, whatever he has left, he's going to throw that game 3 for us, and then hopefully those guys we're developing can give us some outs. But that's really the key right now. It's going to be week by week for us. We're just going to figure out what the best matchups are, and then we'll go into that series. Hopefully there's series. We didn't get one this time, but hopefully we can get some 3-gamers and we can kind of manage that. I'd like to be able to manage that and see how we do.
Actually, we were just talking about it on the road over here. We're thinking of going with Jack first game over there Friday, and then starting Keevan the second game. The reason we chose Jack over there is he's a senior, he's experienced, and I think nothing phases him. You know, he's one of those kids that, oh well, let's go, give me the ball. You know, and playing over there in the valley, I don't know if you guys have played, but it gets crazy. It's a carnival out there. You know, music loud, fans going crazy. I think he can step up to the plate with that. So Jack is probably going to be our number 1 on Friday. Keevan, number 2. And then we'll figure out a number 3.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good idea at least of who 2 of our guys will be. I think we'll settle that after today's inter-squad, see who knows better a little bit. But I think we're pretty confident in our top 2 guys, and we've had a few guys pull up and a couple sophomores really get some innings in, so I'm pretty confident if we need to go to a 3rd, which I'm hoping is not going to be the case, I think we'll be okay. I think this guy here is going to start a game 1 or 2. I'm not sure yet.
This is for the 2 second-year coaches. A lot of you came to your current schools with previous head coaching experience. How special has it been for you 2 guys to be in the tournament this year in your second year? You know, your struggles this year are well documented, but just overall from your plan at Carroll and then Ronnie, your response on your plan at GP.
It was quite the transition going from Tuloso to Carroll last year, and then have it all be shortened up and not have the ability to do what you want to do, you know, to lay your groundwork. It was difficult, but from the time we got together early on this year in August and September with our kids, it's just been, you know, like everything has fell into place. So it's been great to be part of the Carroll tradition. And I'm sure, you know, Coach A can speak to that. You know, I was trying to live up to that tradition and legacy that Carroll Tiger baseball is. So it's a great undertaking as a coach, I believe, to coach Eric Carroll. And I think getting our kids into this tournament this year based on where we came from, it's just, like I said, a big feather in the cap of Carroll baseball and the kids who are part of that program.
You know, anytime you get in the playoffs is a special deal. It's the atmosphere is unlike anything that you can think of, especially you get down there. Somebody talk about playing in the valley, and that gets pretty tough. So the atmosphere is great. But as far as transitioning over from Ingleside to GP, one of the first things I noticed was the amount of arms that we had available to us over at GP. And you walk in there and you see guys throwing, and you're like, well, you know, we might be number 2 or number 3, and then 2 or 3 months later, after you see him playing this ball tournament, you think, well, hey, this kid might be the number 2, number 3. And so just the amount of arms that we have available to us kind of feeds into our philosophy and kind of feeds into what we believe in as far as just throw strikes, be dominant on the mound, let your defense work. You know, if we can manufacture 3 or 4 runs, we feel like we got a shot. And so that's kind of been the formula for success for us lately is we're going to pitch, we're going to play defense, and then our hitters have been able to come up with some timely hits. And so that's the plan that we're going to follow here on out. And I know in the playoffs, you're going to have to do the small things like one guy's over, maybe swipe the bag, or execute a safety squeeze or something like that. So those are things that we practice this year, and we expect to be able to execute the postseason. We know those things are going to be important. But as far as the transition coming over from Ingleside to GP, I'd say just seeing the amount of arms that we have was really good side and good sight to see.
You know, Orly, it's your first time to advance since the McLaughlin team in 2017 went to the regional final. Is it true that when you're living it for the first time, you think you'll be back time and again, and then when it becomes apparent that that might not be the case, there's a tremendous, are you relieved to get back?
I'm very relieved. You know, that was every year you want to make the playoffs. You know, as a coach, you set goals, you set expectations. So, but every year you're going to try to get there. And I believe it's all four schools. You want to get to the show, to the big dance, which is state. You know, those are our expectations. But since 2017, it's been a long 3 years for us. So it's a relief. Honestly, it is a relief. So it was like the most stressful year this year. Not only just to make the playoffs, but playing every Tuesday and Friday against teams like this. I was like, wow. I grew some more white hairs around. So it's been stressful this year. But it's all fun. It's good to be in the playoffs.
Coach Hager, I know your club feels like it has some unfinished business. A number of your players were on the team 2 years ago that was eliminated in the second round, and then you had a very talented club that stalled last year because of the pandemic. What's the mood like at that?
Well, you brought up 2019. I think that's a nasty thing to bring up. It's the first time 4 corporate schools got beat in the second round since I've been around. I've been around quite a while. So, yeah, 2019 was not good. 2018 was pretty good. We had a good run, and then last year we kind of put it behind us. I think we dwelled on it for a long, long time. And I think the media dwelled on it for a long, long time, and I think everybody just got kind of suckered into it, like, well, we're supposed to win next year, that didn't work that way. And as great as we were, and as good as the team was, it's a totally different team right now, and we got some of the parts back, but for us to think that we deserve something because of that, we're fooling ourselves. So, our mood right now is just, we're gonna, like I told him the other day, man, our objective is to practice another Monday. That's all we're thinking about. We're not thinking about how far we're gonna go. We're not thinking how far we're supposed to go. We're not thinking about what we're owed or anything like that. We're just gonna try to get ourselves back on the practice field on Monday, and that's gonna be our objective. And if we can do that 4, 5, 6 times, then we'll look up and maybe we'll be there. But like I said, there's all 4 of our teams, because of our district and the way our district was, they should be prepared to make that run just as good as we are. So I feel like, one of us, it's been a while since we won one here down in the 5A ranks or 6A ranks. Well, we don't have any 6As now, but it's coming. I think it's coming. I think the quality of teams that we have right here, I mean, you look at Ray, they can do the small ball, they can do whatever they want to do. They can win a slugfest, they can win a short game. GP can do the same thing. And I'll tell you right now, I've told everybody in the state that the team I don't want to play right now is Carroll. Because, I mean, you get that zombie-like effect, and all of a sudden you just start believing that you're King Kong, and that's where they're at right now. They don't believe they're going to get beat. And I watched them play Saturday and against King, but you know that was a blip because it didn't mean anything. So they're a tough team. So I truly believe one of us are going to have a chance to get to Round Rock. I don't know who or how, but I just believe one of us can do that. And I've seen all the teams in the region. I feel like, why not us? I mean, you know, we have a chance. So that's all we're trying to do is just, we're going to take it one week at a time and just try to somehow, you know, practice again on Monday, and that's what we're going to try to do.
This is my last question, directed to the players. 4 veteran leaders here who help you manage your programs when you get right down to it. Take a leadership role with younger players. Working from Malachi down through DJ, what's it been like for you in that leadership role, and for each of y'all as well? Any surprises, in your case on the 2021 Wildcats, in terms of younger players who've emerged, or maybe someone like Colby Orrell, who was a JV player a year ago and has had an outstanding season?
Oh, it's amazing. We have a bunch of seniors that we're all coming together, being a team. Like we have a big group of seniors that are being leaders. It definitely helps a lot. We're all focused. And Colby Rowe, he said that that's one kid that everyone really slept on him. Like no one really expected him to be where he is now, but he shocked a lot of people. And starting first base, so that's impressive. That's awesome. From being on JV as a junior to senior year, and now you're starting lineup, batting top 5. That's special.
Can you repeat the question? Oh, sure. As a leader, you know, from your perspective, how's that gone in terms of leading younger players, underclassmen, anybody in that group, or maybe even a peer who surprised you with your play?
Right. I mean, just setting examples everywhere. I mean, starts at practice. You know, fortunately, in the last couple of years, we've had a group of seniors who we've all kind of looked up to, and this year now it's kind of just been me and Jose and Jake Robbie, who are seniors who've been returning and who've been communicative. Jake Miller doesn't say a word, so I kind of joking in, but us three just setting examples and being the best teammate we could possibly be off and on the field, and just making sure everyone feels loved, and just coming together off the baseball field is important because, you know, due to COVID, we weren't able to come together as much as we wanted to, but now that later on into the season, we've kind of had a bond that's kind of been broken, and like Coach Yeager said, just last week we had a deep conversation with everyone in the team, and we kind of felt that it's starting to come back, and I'm excited, everyone's excited, the seniors are ready to go, juniors, sophomores, everyone's excited, so it's going to be a ride, and can't wait to get after it.
So it's definitely been an honor to be a leader at a good program like we have, and I mean, we have 3 starting seniors, and so our youth and our growing, developing players have definitely been a pivotal role in our team. We have players who played as advertised, like Keaton Goss, who's a sophomore going to Tech, pitch athlete outstanding this year. Then we had 2 guys come from Carroll last year, Mikey and Darian, who are both juniors who've been starting. Darian's our 6th-hole, Mikey's our 3rd starting catcher, and so they've been awesome. I mean, we've had my younger brother, who's a perfect closer. He's going to be here 2 more years, and so our developing players have definitely been important for us, and the team chemistry is the best it's been in all 4 years I've been here, and we can definitely attribute that to our seniors as well as our juniors. The loudest guys in our dugout, it's been the loudest in the 4 years, it's been the best. And I think our freshmen and sophomore are honestly the loudest guys in the dugout, which makes the game so much more fun. But so it's definitely been the most fun and fun year I've had, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah, it's been great to be a leader on this team. A lot of guys who go out there and compete. For me to be a leader, you say a lot about those guys. They're just good guys. Who go out there and compete. Be the lead. It means a lot to me. And as far as guys standing out, younger guys, we got a catcher. His name's Dave. He's just a freshman. He's been really, really good this year for me. And he's hitting the ball well as well. That kid's just a freshman. So yeah, he's exceeded my expectations. I'm so happy for that kid. And then our second pitcher, his name's Nick Matridis. Talk about a guy who goes out there and competes. Didn't really have the best start because we were missing some guys from the lineup. Didn't make a lot of outs for him, but to keep going out there over and over and over again, and then starting to see some success late. Hats off to that kid.
Coaches, this is for you. I'm going to ask you a question about what trait of the player you brought today would you tell another classman they need to emulate? And we can start with Coach Jonesy to go.
That's a pretty easy one. When it comes to Malachi, if you see any picture, it could be like a Colin Times picture, it could be a picture that one of the parents take. It's his love for the game. He's always got a smile, and I think it's contagious. And so his love for the game would be the trait that I would say, if you're going to take after this guy, take after that.
Jacob, please.
Again, another easy one. There's things that come with this as well, and I've coached some first-round draft picks, and I've told our players one of the most common denominators of all of those first-round draft picks and all those guys that made it to the major leagues or even minor leagues was they were all competitive, and sometimes to a fault, because sometimes that competitiveness will get the best of you at times, but I wouldn't change that for anything, and that's what makes Dalen what he is. He's you're not going to beat him in anything, you can play ping pong, it doesn't matter, he's not going to let any of his teammates beat him. So that competitiveness is going to carry him a long way as he moves forward, and that's what we want 9 competitors. We get 9 competitors. I'll figure out a way to win games with them.
Jack, what is your trait? Jack is a fun-loving kid. He enjoys it. He enjoys being out there with his teammates. He enjoys just being there. Very competitive. His work ethic is tremendous. So there's a plethora of traits that this kid has. And he's a great, public speaker, as y'all can see. He's a debate, decathlon, everything. I said, maybe you should be able to talk in front of all these guys in this media. So, but Jack, he has multiple traits.
I concur. To say he's competitive would be, cliche for your #1 pitcher. So, the word I'd go with would probably be unflappable, because when he's on the mound, look at DJ, you wouldn't tell if he's throwing a no-hitter or he's getting, slapped around the field. He's going to bump, he's going to get the ball, he's going to toe that slap, and he's just going to make pitches and continue to grind out inning by inning. And like I said, you never know whether he's successful or unsuccessful based on his demeanor. Half the time he's either smiling, has a crooked hat, or maybe he's singing some song that only he knows. So, but he's got a lot of attributes you want in your #1 pitcher, and I'm glad we got him.
I have a question for the players, actually. So we can start over here with DJ and just kind of go along. But what's something maybe you've learned from the program? A lot of you guys have been there all 4 years, or maybe something specific. Let's kind of turn the question around that your coaches just got asked. Maybe what's something specific that you've learned from your head coach that you're just going to carry with you, or something you've learned from the program that you'll carry with you as you go on to the next level and in your lives.
I'd say that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always hope. You always have hope. You start bad. Like we didn't have the best start. You keep grinding. You keep working, and you're going to get to where you want to be. You're going to start winning games. You're going to start winning in life.
There's actually 2 things that I think definitely can take home from these coaches in the program. One of them is that it's definitely an aspect of the game where to slow down the drama. There's people, as a pitcher, you can control the tempo of the game and eliminate that drama and that kind of like almost run It doesn't matter who's the best talented player on the field, it's who plays the best game, who plays the strongest that game. So I think that's definitely another thing that I'm going to be thinking, that I'll continue to think about and use as I go.
Everything about the game today that I played is because of this guy, so I could sit here for hours and talk about how much this guy's helped me just along the way and help everybody just how baseball is supposed to be played. If you don't know how baseball is supposed to be played, this is who you need to talk to, and he can talk about baseball for hours, and I promise you, you won't get tired of it. It's a true blessing to be able to play for this guy. I've dreamed and hoped to play for this guy since I was a 6th grader. Me and my dad would go to the games, and I tell my dad I have to. I sit him watching him play at Carroll or coach at Carroll, and then that's the first year I was like, I have to play for this guy. Just everything that I hear, and just his willingness to compete, and just everything that he's brought to me and my family, and most of all the guys, it's just been awesome. So I'm always going to take in the willingness to compete and play all 42 outs no matter what. And that's just the way I've been taught, and thanks, Coach Jake.
Definitely with Coach Jonesy, with the competitiveness. Everything we do at practice is constant. We're all competitive. Everyone's competing against each other. We're trying to do what we can do our best to get better. And it's definitely the discipline and the maturity that I'll definitely take home with him. He's taught me a lot. He's taught the whole team a lot. We all know what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to act. And it's on and off the field. It's not only being on the baseball field, how we're supposed to do things, but it's also off the field. He's taught us how to do things when we get older and what life is. And there's more things past baseball in life, and he's done good at teaching us those things.
All right. Well, I know a couple of our TV stations are going to visit with you guys one-on-one, but thanks so much for coming. We appreciate the time and effort that it took to be here, and best of luck as we move to the proceeding. Thank you.
Thank you. You get us out of class
If we win,
well, y'all are creatures of habit. Yeah. You guys are welcome to take these nameplates if you like.
Good, how are you? Good, sir. How you doing, sir? How you doing? Thank you, Jim.
Good? Yeah. Up, kid? Yeah. Thanks, Lord. Thank you. Appreciate it, sir. Thanks, Lee. Thank you.
See you. Good luck. 7 o'clock, right? Friday?
Appreciate it, man.
Good. And he needs to run into other ones. 3 games. We do it so often, there's so many reps for being out. He's going to run into one fast, he's going to run into one. Just didn't quite have that, what happened a couple days later, so it's all good. When he gets, when he's right, he can go. I'm more impressed with the plays that he makes at shortstop. Flower left game, the play that turned up was bumped the middle in the 7th inning. Love it, nice. I mean, that's, to me, that's way better than hitting because that's what we lack in the first 20 games of the year, just a shortstop. I know he's talking
Friday, so you got your whole series. You guys are really the only ones. Well, and Betts because they've only got one. But I think you got your full series. So
Hopefully too.
that's it. That's it, man. And we're just gonna go week by week and try to go to many schools as we can. We can't go to full series for everybody as easy as we can. I think I'm gonna be the road guy. So we're trying to get the road games. Those are important for your fans.
Oh, heck yeah. So, you guys have kicked ass all year long, man, so we got to keep that rolling. No doubt about it. Appreciate you guys, man. You guys have done a lot for us.
It's going to wrap things up for us here. Jake Vasquez with you in our first ever 2021 playoff press conference, and would call it a huge success. We had a lot of fun with these guys. You started things off with District 26 4A, the Sinton Pirates, the Calhoun Sand Crabs, the Rockport-Fulton Pirates, and the Ingleside Mustangs. We want to thank Coach Alanis and Daniel Trevino from Sinton, Coach Mike Herrera and Dalton Alford from Calhoun, Coach Tudy Elizondo and Samuel Mays from Rockport-Fulton, and Coach Renee Muniz and Jacob Lozano from Ingleside. So we want to thank all those guys for coming down, representing District 26 4A, and we want to wish all of those guys certainly the best of luck in the playoffs starting this week. And we've got a full schedule of all of these guys and where they'll be, the times, places, dates, all that information. You can find it on 361hsblast.com. We also want to thank District 31 4A, the Calallen Wildcats, the Tuloso-Midway Warriors, Alice Coyotes, and the Robstown Cotton Pickers. We heard from Coach Steve Chapman and Luke Smith from Calallen, Coach Todd Akers and Christian Benavides from Tuloso-Midway, Coach Nick Alvarado and RJ Carrillo from Alice, and Coach Eric Gonzalez and Robbie Olguin from the Robstown Cotton Pickers. So again, the representation from 31-4A, we want to thank those guys so much for coming out. And we want to wish them as well the best of luck in the playoffs as they begin this weekend. And then you just heard from the guys from 29-5A, the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, Veterans Memorial Eagles, the Ray Texans, and the Carroll Tigers. And again, we want to thank Coach Ronnie Jonesy and Malachi Lott from Gregory-Portland, Coach Lee Yeager and Dalen Pena from Veterans Memorial, Coach Orlando Ruiz and Jack Martinez from Ray, and Coach David Marcello and DJ Dudney from Carroll High School. So we want to thank those guys for coming out and everybody who participated. And real quick, I looked at the chat kind of like we do in the ball games. I want to thank everybody who hit us up on the chat as well. I see we had some Sinton Pirates listening in. Brianna Chandler also listening in. Looks like from the Rockport-Fulton Pirates. Jenna Lee Gutierrez watching in, Cynthia Moreno also watching, and question from Renee Johnson asking if we could leave this one up so people can watch the replay, and we are absolutely going to do that. So this one will be live. Was live, but we will keep the stream on. As a matter of fact, we're going to share it on 361hsblast.com on their YouTube page as well. So it'll be two different places where you'll be able to find this one and view it again if you'd like to do that. So we'll certainly provide the links for you once the feed is over and once I get back to where we can do that and post that up for you guys on our social media. So absolutely, Renee Johnson, we will definitely be doing that. I want to thank everyone who tuned in today, and our full schedule for Blast Vision is also up on 361hsblast.com under the Blast Vision tab. And I'll tell you real quick what we've got coming up. We're covering the 5A schools, so we're going to have two stations going live. We'll have Blast Vision and Blast Vision 2. And so we'll kick things off on Friday. Rudy Trevino over on Blast Vision 2 will have a couple of ball games. He'll have the Carroll Tigers hosting Rio Grande City. That one is a 4 p.m. first pitch. And immediately following that one, he's got the Veterans Memorial Eagles hosting Roma, scheduled for a 7 p.m. first pitch. I'll be on the road this weekend, and I'm going to be covering the Gregory-Portland Wildcats in Mission against Veterans Memorial there. That's a 7 p.m. first pitch. And then we'll both be going on Saturday I know for the CCISD teams, they're hoping it's just one ball game if they won game number one. But we'll have the Ray Texans on Saturday. Rudy Trevino over on Blast Vision 2, hosting La Jolla Palmview. 2:30 is scheduled first pitch for game two. And we'll also have game three if necessary. And then, like I said, I'll be on the road in Rio Grande City on Saturday for the Carroll Tigers and the Rio Grande City Rattlers. That's scheduled for 3 p.m. first pitch, and we'll be there for game three if it's necessary as well. So you can always find that on 361hsblast.com under the Blast Vision tab. And also, we tweeted out and put it out on our Facebook page. So be sure to give us a follow, give us a like, and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel so you don't ever miss any of the action. So we'll see you guys again on Friday. Jake Vasquez signing out. I want to thank real quick Matt Rogers for hosting this event. And we had Channel 3, we had Caller Times, we also had Doug Kesterson from 1440 Keys come out. So we want to thank all of those guys for helping us, make this one a big success, and we hope to continue doing this for you guys. So Jake Vasquez signing out. I'll see you again on Friday. Blast Vision live from Portland, Texas.